So it's that time of year again. It's coming up to practicals, whether you're in first year all the way up to Leaving Cert. Now, I'm going to share 3 tips which answer a lot of the common questions I get every year of students. So the first thing to find out is what length your practical needs to be. That can vary whether you're in first year all the way up to 5th year. Okay, so once you find out, then you have the sections of the song or the piece you know you can put into it. Okay, because it can happen that you could spend ages playing, we'd say, a 5-minute piece, only to find out later, just because you didn't ask, that your practical is 2 minutes long. Okay, so that will save time and energy into playing those extra pieces you didn't need in the first place. And also, with the 2 minutes, if it is 2 minutes, whatever length it is, if it is 2 minutes, then you look at what sections best serve you for your practical. Okay, so if the intro is really easy and if the verse is really easy, like, you don't need to play 2 verses then. Play your intro, play 1 verse, then hit into the chorus, and who knows, the bridge could be the best part of the song, so put that in as well. So kind of construct the pieces of your practical in relation to the amount of time you have to use. Okay, so that's tip number 1. Find out the length of your practical and use it to the best of your potential. Tip number 2, once you've the length determined, if you're playing with anybody else, find out what key you're doing this piece in. Specifically, this can happen with if you're working with the singer. For example, you're doing, let's say, Guns N' Roses piece, and you go home and you learn it off, absolutely nail the solo, and then you come in and guess what? We'd say the singer, they don't sing as high as Axl Rose, or they might sing higher and you need to change the key. So you need to watch out that you find out the key and then go about learning it. Okay, the only exception to this rule can be if you're playing open chords with the capo. As guitar players, we're blessed. You can move around the capo and instantly all the work you put in with your G, C and D chord at the 2nd fret works all the way up to whatever fret. Okay, so that's tip number 2. Determine the key. Find out that key of your practical. Step number 3 is, whether you're in first year or whatever year it is, treat it as if it is the real thing. Okay, the attitude you take towards your first year practical or whatever, like 2nd year, even 5th year, like of course if it's the big ones, if it's the junior cert or the Leaving Cert, you kind of step up that bit more and you bring more to the day. Okay, but treat your first year practical onwards like that, and by the time it comes around to the big ones, it's going to feel exactly the same. It won't feel like any bigger a deal, and you'll go in playing at your absolute best. So those are the 3 tips I have. The first one again was determine the length of your practical so you don't waste time and energy and effort playing extra bits you don't need. Number 2, determine the key. So again, you use all your time and energy into learning it exactly where you need to play it. And tip number 3 was step up to do it as if it's the exact real thing. Okay? So, any questions though, drop me a mail at any time because it is that time of year and I know a lot of the gang have a lot of questions. Alright? Have fun.